the hell? How y'all doing out there? How many of y'all are actually cooking, barbecuing, or doing something with this weekend that is god awful hot? Don't want to catch your ass outside until 7 o'clock. She's dangerous out there, people. She's dangerous out there, people.
I was more so just letting this dude jam because I was like lost in the sauce with that goddamn Hydra synth. I forgot I even had the bass on at one point. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was just like, why is my shoulders feeling so worn out? Oh, got some goddamn lumber on my body.
Sometimes it's just fun to find a preset you like and just latch one key and just play with the filter controls on the Hydra synth. It's well, shit, you heard it. I don't even need to explain it. You just get lost and you tie it in there with the Strymon Night Sky. Where all my Strymon people at? And you get some beautiful, magical things. I felt like I was going down the rabbit hole. Felt like I could do that shit all night. Instantly transform my mood.
Yeah, it did. Transform mine. I forgot I was even here. I forgot y'all was here. I was watching this YouTube channel last night. It's about beginners getting into music. And for beginners that are getting into music, the first thing they want to do is play like the best, whatever they're into. Like for the one I was watching was beginner bassists get into bass playing for the first time. And so they did a statistic number. And it seemed like all the beginners, they wanted to tackle something really fucking hard. Like one of their favorite bass players or whatever. And this teacher was telling them, that's good. That's a good motivator to start playing the bass. And I was that person being new. And it's not until he was like, if you learn something complicated, you first time playing the bass, and I try to teach you that, you're going to bypass so many skills and stepping stones to get to that point. You be doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
As much as you want to play that historical or legendary bass line, you're going to have to give yourself some time and patience and learn how to play the ABCs before you can get into that Greek alphabet hard hitting shit. Now, when I learned how to play the bass the first time, being a beginner, and I don't know if this is everybody, so let me know if this is everybody when it comes to music. You sound like shit. That's the first and foremost. But it seemed like when you were practicing something and you were new to it, you couldn't sound good right away. So it frustrates you more than not. And the lack of motivation to continue to play the instrument becomes a challenge because you have so much expectations on yourself until you get behind the said instrument of your choosing and find out that it takes, oh my God, this shit takes discipline and it takes some sort of knowledge of knowing about this particular instrument that you have to slow down and feed yourself baby food first. You can't fucking gnaw on the steak with no teeth. So if people that are starting out so past the people that are starting out, let's just say for like myself and others who are pretty much intermediate or advanced in their skill. I found yesterday and today when I came in here earlier, I went back to the very, very basics and I almost struggled. I almost got from the basics. I went literally and played 2 notes back and forth to make those 2 notes sound good. And I felt I was getting like sloppy. Like I was like, no, I'm trying to rush off to the next note. I stayed with those two notes and plucked for about, I don't know, 20 minutes until those two notes sounded flawless and impeccable. And I was like, that's where I need to be. I need to take it note at a time, make sure my finger dexterity, my transitions, and everything is nice, pronounced, and fluid. I think we don't take time to go back to the basics because the basics has so much to teach you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for new people, I would say hang on to that dream of tackling that whatever etude that you want to tackle. But if you don't get the basics down first, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice, and allow yourself to make mistakes. If you don't allow yourself to make mistakes and you're going to beat yourself up, you're never going to tell your brain to advance. You're never going to tell your brain, oh, this is learning. When I learn a new bass line, I take my time, I play it super fucking slow, which you guys don't see, but I play at a snail's pace. And however annoying it is, it's telling my brain, oh, we're learning something new, but we're learning something new the right way. If you're not making mistakes, then you're not learning. Or if you're afraid to progress because you're scared of making mistakes, you're not learning. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's all a part of learning.
Yeah. Yeah. Cressy says timing and muting notes. Chrome says practice scales.
Practice scales.
George G says very true.
I think the first thing I think everybody gets is the major scale, right? I mean, shit, I was doing that. It was so hard back in the day. So I had to, what you do going down, you do coming back up. And you just focus on that. And in 2 weeks, once you got that down, and you focus on the minor scale. And then once you get the major and a minor scale down, I mean, shit, you're pretty much on your way. Every person that's learning, they always say, okay, but how do I put these scales into music form? And I think that's where the teacher not fails, but they fail to highlight it more. Okay, the A major or the C major scale, it's the music is in it. Like there's so much music in the C major scale. And I just think people just think it's just this dumb exercise that, just to get you going. I think if you teach people in a song format, like the easiest song that you can think of, it'll keep them going. It'll keep them interested because they'll be like, oh, I'm making actual music.
Right.
But when you put them behind a scale, it just becomes mundane.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys think about it. You guys remember when you were young and you first started playing music? Wasn't that shit hard? Weren't you frustrated?
I mean, too, and it depends on what you want to pick up for the first time. So our grandfather used to play saxophone in a jazz band a long time ago. And my father saved his saxophone, and he never played it. So when we were out visiting the parents and watching my son graduate and shipping him off to the Navy, Pops had his saxophone, grandfather's saxophone, in his closet. And I said, well, let me take that home, find somebody to refurbish it, put pads and stuff on it, oil it up. And since you didn't want to play it and you were just holding it because it was your father's, I'm going to take it to Sweetwater or somewhere local, have them refurbish it, and I'm going to sign up for classes to play the saxophone that my grandfather played in a jazz band. And it's a pretty nice saxophone. I can't find the maker on it for some reason, so I'm hoping somebody could tell me who made it. It's a very, very old saxophone. So I'm going to take some classes on that and see what I can't do with that for the next couple of years. But that's the thing. If you have too many toys, it's hard to pay any one of them a certain amount of time because they all pique your interest. Like the Hydrosynth and today, when you latch a note and you just play with the filter controls, it teaches you so much about what your cutoff is doing, what your resonance is doing, what your LFOs are doing, what the drive and the morph is doing. And you're just running through the paces, knowing what these knobs do. And if you're doing, micro turns with these knobs, you get so many different sounds, and you can watch the one thing I like about the Hydrasynth is you can literally watch the information feedback on the screen with the oscilloscope. It just lets you know how much you're disturbing that waveform. And when you got visual feedback as a synth player, I mean, to me, that's everything.
Yeah, and you didn't go to somebody and get taught. You didn't per se have a teacher. You self-taught. Like Cressy said, he's never even played a scale out of his 47 years. So some people don't need it. But I'm curious to know do you think missing out on some of those scales has hindered your playing, Cress? I'll be right back.
I normally just watch. I may be self-taught, but I watch people like James Dyson. I watch the entire community and I listen. I listen more than I watch. And I try to figure out my own style. I try to figure out I'll look to see what they're doing, and I'll look to see what Scotty's doing, or, James Dyson, more or less, because watching him move through certain functions can teach you a lot too. There's something to be said about being self-taught. No one's imprinted their bullshit on you. I think that's the last thing anybody wants as an artist. Unless you're a kid and you're in like band camp or something, or you're in high school band, or you want to learn and your parents are paying for you to learn, then I think you're going to get some sort of impression from that teacher. Unless the teacher is really, really, really honed in and critical on how they teach a student. Maybe certain teachers are like, look, I'm not going to show you how I, come up with things or how I do certain things. It's imperative you find your functionality, your style. But here's the steps. You don't want to practice bad habits. I think Chrome said that. If you practice bad habits, it's hard to undo them. And I think I want to pick up my acoustic a little more and keep playing it. I used to play that thing a lot. I'm a finger picker, and I don't play my acoustic much anymore. So I'm eager to implement that back into the swing of things and start running through my scales. And it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that, sometimes I wish I'd bought one synth and just learned it inside out. I could still do that, but when you have these things in front of you, it's very hard not to get your attention off to something else, because you know what they do and you know what they do for you. But sometimes I just wish I bought one and just master it, know it in and out. And like I said, I could still do that, but I'm like a fucking monkey in the laboratory. I just want to fuck with all the beakers and Buntons. Break everything. It's hard. Rabbit said, if Lamar steps away, Cressy steps in. Cressy said, there's a lot of ways to get stuff done. It's just how I did stuff. Doesn't mean it's correct. And that's the thing. Everybody's going to have their way on how they approach it. But it's easy to fall off. I know that for a fact. It's easy to limit yourself on your instruments. That's why I don't fall for like anytime a new synthesizer comes out or a new pedal comes out or a new looper or whatever it is. Anytime I see something new that catches my eye and I go, oh shit, I really want that. I sit and I think about it for a while, you know? And then with the more I think about it, I go, well, I've already got something that's similar. Why am I not in there messing with that and finding new things and sounds like that, you know? And then I always tell myself, once I buy it, what's the likelihood it's just going to get ignored most of the time and I'm not going to find time to play with it and learn to do things with it. And, you know, and once I realize that, I go, I'm not buying any more instruments. Because now I know myself, and when I get it in here, it's not going to be the same. And when the lust over it is gone, it gets put on a shelf sooner or later, and then you're looking to acquire something else. And then there's the other thing with when you do see new equipment, you know, I barely understand synthesis, right? I'm not like let's see who's in here. I'm not like a Tracker Jack or a Chrome or half God, half beast. Like these dudes understand synthesis. And they can explain it in a way where, you know, if you want to learn, I'm sure they can explain it in a way where you'll understand. But they know a lot more than me because they've been doing it a hell of a lot longer. So when I watch videos on new synths coming out and they've got these guys playing them and you hear these presets, that's lore. That's just someone knowing that machine very well and they're selling it. And oftentimes when you get it in your hands, it's like, well, shit, how come I can't pull off some of the same things that the guy was when he was selling this shit on YouTube? And it's an education block. It's how far do you want to push yourself on any given machine? And I relate that to farrier work, like when I'm working with horses. You can either be a farrier that wants to know very minimum and just get by, but when a certain issue comes up, you don't know how to do it, so you're going to refer it out to somebody that has a higher education. Or are you going to push yourself to learn every aspect and put yourself in a situation where you're doing everything possible and you've seen everything possible and you're figuring out things as they come? If you put yourself in that position, then you're more likely to master the industry in which you want to thrive in. But the synth world, I mean, I've said this a lot of times, it's not my passion, it's my hobby. My passion is being a blacksmith farrier. I push that to the limits. My hobby and my getaway from that is sitting right here talking to you guys. So maybe there's something to be said about it. Maybe you just have to have the want to push yourself to learn more and more and retain it. Maybe there's something that comes along with it. Maybe we all don't have that. Maybe most of us are like General Rabbit in the house. We just want to get in our hutch, turn the lights down, and push buttons and turn knobs and have fun. And 9 times out of 10, I mean, that's what I like to do. I like happy accidents. I like figuring things out as I go, you know. But then there's some people that can see what I'm doing and they're probably thinking, oh, I bet he doesn't know he could do this, or I bet he doesn't know he can do that, you know. And Scotty Sounds was one of those people that when he listened to my brother and I, he was thinking to himself, they don't know that they could do this with the sound. They don't know that they it's a must that they do this. And so he contacted us and was like, look, we need to rewire the entire studio. You need to have some of these instruments into stereo. You have too many things in mono. Do you understand what panning does and what it does for your sound? You know, that's what makes me happy to be in a community like this, is because it's not pushed on me and shoved down my throat. It's more of, you know, we'll let you discover, but if it's something crucial to your sound that you need, here's the information for that. Do that. So that's pretty dope, you know. I just like looking at young musicians and watching them figure things out. See how people interpret music and how far they want to push it. What we got? What am I missing here? Harmonic Sonic says, I love making sound and soundscapes. And that's another thing. Some people excel at that. I like doing the same thing too. But I ain't no James Dyson or no Scott. But I do love the presets that they make. I'm a preset fan. What does Samurai say? A preset playboy. If you put some good presets in front of me, I'm good to go. And it's less time trying to figure out shit. Hit a certain preset, get to writing. Harmonic Sonic's got some of James's presets.
Oh shit!
That dude know what he's doing. He's just a real slick engineer when it comes to that. I mean, these guys spend time behind the knobs and the buttons, the tweakage.
Yeah, instruments are instruments though, right? But how much of that is the talent? How much of the playing is the actual person, like the talent? Some people have talent, some people don't. And I like to say that about rhythm. It's either you're born with it or you just don't have it. Because rhythm is something you can't teach. There's no actual course. I mean, you can teach it on paper, but me being a bass player, rhythm is an actual feeling. It's a feel, not just the audio portion. It's like rhythm is something that you have. Like it's something that just, it's an internal clock that just moves you. You gotta have rhythm.
Can anyone name a shit band that was just shit and made it famous? I can name a couple.
That has like no rhythm?
That, you know, the rhythm was kind of there, but it kind of wasn't. And you knew it was shit, and you asked yourself, how did they make it? Maybe it was a one-hit wonder, you know, maybe they wasn't, and they're still a solid band today. And I'm not talking about rhythm per se, but can anyone think of a shit band that's still going today that just had that label on them that they were shit?
Ooh. Damn. Well, there's people who I thought weren't the best, but if they were on the radio, I guess they met the popular demand. But let me see here.
Apollo said Smash Mouth. I would agree with that.
Yeah, Smash Mouth was shit.
I would agree with that.
They had that one little thing, but
like to me, the band that was the shittiest growing up that everybody absolutely hated, especially live, was Third Eye Blind.
oh yeah. And Sugar Ray. You remember Sugar Ray? Yeah, Third Eye Blind, because he could. Well, I don't know. They say his vocals weren't the best live.
I mean, but even as bad as they were, or as bad as you think they were, because I think we all know what good music is. But even the worst musicians are selling something and doing something for a lot of people. So I don't think, anyone should ever be discouraged about how their music sounds if these people can make it. There was a couple of other bands that I was like, oh my God,
Right.
this shit sounds horrible live, and I don't understand why people are into it.
See, but I think a lot of that is studio dressing. I think when people like that, when you get those studio musicians and the engineer makes them sound good, but then when they take their shit out live, they can't bring the engineer and all the bells and whistles that they had recording.
Yeah.
I think that's the telltale sign.
Yeah, Chrome, Garbage. Garbage was like, they just weren't. I heard the same thing, Chrome. They were horrible. It was horrible. Nothing was in tune, barely. The sequence wasn't there. Like I've been to some live shows where I was like, oh my God, how do you guys have a following? So it's not like you have to be a musical genius to have a successful career or to enjoy what you're doing. Some people do it to the best of their abilities, and there's always someone that's going to like it. Ohm says the Shags. Jack says the Grateful Dead. What?
Ooh. Jerry Garcia's no bueno to Jack. He don't like it.
Rabbit says one man's trash is another man's
treasure or garbage. Yeah, I know a lot of people that's not into the Grateful Dead. I know a lot of people that just don't. They just don't get Jerry Garcia. I like a few songs from the Dead, but I'm not a Deadhead. I know that. Somebody said Nickelback, and there's a story about Nickelback, and I forgot the main meats and taters of it, but a lot of it came. He got a lot of smoke because a lot of people thought he sounded like Pearl Jam. They thought he was taking Eddie Vedder style, and a lot of people just didn't like it. And I think he was like he got to be on drugs and alcohol, but they're back now. I saw them. They were doing live tours.
Yeah. I'm with you, Scruffy Fox. Smashing Pumpkins were okay. Like, I didn't buy any Smashing Pumpkin albums.
Yeah.
I may have bought a couple of singles, but a lot of the Smashing Pumpkins, it's like you had to be a crazy fan to buy albums and listen to that. And like, I didn't really like Billy's voice, I mean, I liked it on certain things, but I would never buy an album because I couldn't get through a couple of songs. Like, and that's the thing too, when you know an artist and they only have like 2 good songs, but their album or 10 tracks.
He was on the verge of like not emo, but what was he? He was like goth, right? Back then when goth was a thing.
Yeah.
He was like on the fringe of goth and Marilyn Manson.
Somebody said the Verve Pipe.
The Verve Pipe.
Damn, that's taking it back.
Yeah, but they all have the basics. That's what I was getting at earlier today. Like all the music now, or in the 90s and the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, They all had the basics. Everybody came from the basics. Pentatonic. Shit, Apollo Hanzo roll with the pentatonics like a bad boy. He's a pentatonic monster. I'm a pentatonic monster.
Yeah, that's true, Cressy. That's absolutely true.
What's going on? What's Cressy talking about?
There's thousands of church bands that have singers that sound like another 1,000 singers, just generic. They can sing, but they are totally interchangeable sonically.
I was gonna say if we had time, we would get you in here, Scruffy.
Yeah, we don't have much time left.
Yeah.
We got Gats coming over for a barbecue.
Yeah, we got a surprise visit, Scuff. We're gonna have to reschedule. If you got time, some other time. We'll have to
next weekend. Can't we do next weekend?
Or next Saturday if you're around.
Yeah. We could do next Saturday if you're around next Saturday. Puzzle that in. And I hear Wagyu, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard Oasis is back touring again.
I think
that's one band I would like to see. Oasis. I've always been a Oasis fan. I don't know why. A lot of people don't like Oasis. And that's that thing I'm talking about. And that's the thing Lamar's talking about. But they know the basics. And they're able to drive their ship.
Can anybody play just a basics, like a basic format anymore? Does anybody ever go back to the basics?
No, Cressy said Oasis is back again. Okay.
Oh, see, there you go. I was listening to you when you were saying, when I was in the house, you were saying that when you play, you try to stay within the basics just to shape your skills, but the mind often drifts and goes, but I know other things that I can play with this. Mm-hmm. Or you get lost in the sauce and you start to noodle. I do the same shit. I thought about it and I was like, no matter how hard I come in here with the game plan, I'm going to practice, you always go off to the fucking deep end and you can't never keep yourself in that box. But then I was like, well, that means that's healthy. I think when you noodle, I wonder how many great songs came by when artists were just noodling.
Mm. Yeah. Apollo says he got one for us. Coldplay.
Coldplay is nice. I like Coldplay. I got no beef with Coldplay.
I like Coldplay too. I don't have any beef.
Listen to me, Apollo. I love you, my boy, but man, I got no quarrels with Coldplay.
Yeah, there's nothing about that turns me off. When I hear a Coldplay song, I'm just like,
it's solid.
Especially they're like old shit.
But I get it. I get it. Most people don't like that shit. Maybe it's his voice. But as musicians, But
then there's people that they just like, in your mind, this is for everyone. Give me your top one, the top band that sounds live that you went to go see. That just sounds good live. Amazing.
Just one band you went to go see, you knew they was like better live than on their fucking record. And I'll tell you who mine is, hands down. And that's Dave Matthews Band. Them boys are some bad boys. They put on a hell of a show. They're literal musicians.
Man with Beard is in the house.
Everybody give it up for Man with Beard. Telly's in the house.
Somebody get some eyes on him.
Just one set of eyes on Telly, please.
And don't let him dupe you.
But yeah, there's got to be, for you guys, that one band that's just like, man, they live, they kill it.
Wagyu's got eyes on the beard. That's it, Wagyu. You're in charge now. Make sure he says something too. He'll be creepy the whole damn time.
What's Hawkwind?
Hawkwind. Horrific accident. Wait, the band. That's one band I like
to see in a horrific accident. Who's this?
What band is that?
God bless.
Damn, oh
shit. Oh, probably talking about Coldplay. I don't know.
How many people have heard of? Okay, I haven't seen them live, but I've watched plenty of live shows recorded on YouTube.
Wagyu says baby metal.
And they sound amazing, and I really want to catch this band live. I'll give you my top band that I've heard live or performer, but Manchester Orchestra, to me right now, is my favorite rock band. They just fucking kill it.
They do it for you, huh?
If you don't know who the Manchester Orchestra is, you're doing yourself a disservice. The songwriting skills from this man is amazing. I forget the lead singer's name, but man. But my number one artist live is Jose Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Jose Gonzalez he's just amazing live.
But yeah, I'm with Wags though. There's a lot, and I can say a lot. Like Yusuf Days, them boys live are killer, phenomenal band. Bon Iver is a dope artist live. Shit, go check out some Bon Iver live. Check out some Yusuf Daves live.
Yeah, they sick. About to see Femi Cutie live. Femi Cutie? Am I saying that right, Roy? Femi Cutie in a couple of weeks.
Later, Rabbit.
See you, Rabbit.
You go out there and you take care of them wine snobs. Don't let them drink all your liquor, and definitely don't let them finger your cheese.
Word up. Yeah, I got a chance to see David Gray live.
That'd be a good one.
That was amazing.
Shit, Sublime back in the day.
They were horrible.
They spent more time drunk.
They were the worst band I ever seen live. Sublime is shit. Their studio stuff is awesome.
Yeah, but their live shit, you can't make heads or tails of it.
You couldn't even understand what they were playing.
Shit, and nowadays when you go to a concert, people, over half of them got the cell phones out. They're watching the concert through a cell phone, and they're at the concert.
Don't even live in the moment. What's Man with Beard saying? The new antidepressant seems to be working well, but it doesn't. But it does make me feel very sleepy though throughout the day. Oh, that sucks. Which antidepressant are you on? Do you want to say? You don't have to say, Beard.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything. We get it.
But Beard, riddle me this. Have you ever tried microdosing?
Psilocybin.
I wish I could find an article for you, Beard. You're in Discord, Beard. I know you are.
But they're in the UK. They don't allow that shit anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Don't matter.
One of who wants to look up that medication? Roy, you want to look that up and let's see what that's all about.
Oh shit. Okay. I got something earlier today. I can't.
Hang on. David Asif says he takes the same medication.
Oh, okay. So he knows what's best about it.
Go ahead.
So I got a DM today by one of our family members, and it's nothing wrong with them. All right. So everything's good with them, but they lost someone. And I'm not going to say who, but they lost someone. But this person, when I read the message this morning, wants me to get this out to people. And I'm particularly wanting to get this out to our very own Panda, and I hope he listens. And whoever else vapes.
Damn.
I want to get this out to everybody who vapes. My brother and I have no reason to interject in your life and tell you what not to do with your life, or even if you smoke. It's not our business. But when you're a part of the community, we just want to say something about it, and it's just our opinion. This buddy of ours in our community, the person who was vaping did it so much that their lungs hardened and they failed to expand because the machine had to come in and assist with breathing. Vaping killed this poor girl, very young. Lungs turned into a rock. Petrified lungs could no longer expand on their own. So we just want to say this about the whole vaping thing. I get it's addicting, and I get it's what you're going through with that addiction. But they have these studies, and I've looked them up this morning, and the vaping oils that you put in your lungs, they ossify the alveoli, and they turn your lungs into stone to where they won't expand anymore. Now, just think about that as you're taking that vaping hit, particularly Sam, because I know he vapes and he's coming up on his marriage. All we ask is that you just try to minimize, reduce what you're doing, and if not, quit. The person in our family, he and his wife went cold turkey in the year 2000. It's 25 years ago. They went cold turkey and stopped. I know it's probably the hardest thing that you're going to have to do or go through, but just think about that. This person doesn't have a family member anymore because of vaping, smoking. So, if you're listening and you have this addiction, just think about it. Please think about it. Think about what it's doing to your health, and not just you, but what it's going to do to other people around you. Maybe later, if I check the DMs, this person wants me to put it out there, then I'll come back and I'll put it out there so we can give this person our thoughts and prayers. But be good to your body, people. We should be tired of losing people.
Roy says weed vaping is still safe. No nicotine vaping is safe.
I think this was all nicotine vaping with the oils and stuff like that. This is all tobacco. Or I don't think it's tobacco, obviously, because it's vape. I don't know what it is. It's just the oils from it. It's not good.
So man with beer, is there something you're doing to combat the sleepiness when you take that medication? Do you have caffeine to keep you up? What are you trying to do to combat that? Because I'm sure you don't want to be sleeping all damn day either. I'm just glad to see you back and you know you're here and that drug is working. Okay, so he's drinking coffee to combat that. And I wonder, like, if that's what these doctors do, you know. I know a lot of people suffer from depression, but sometimes it makes me think that they put people on these antidepressants and then they say, well, take this other pill, it will combat the sleepiness. And now you're on another medication. And then that comes with some sort of
side effects.
And then they give you another one for that side effect. And it's like, when does that end? But if you're dealing with depression and the only side effect for some people is drowsiness, sleepiness, I'll take that all fucking day.
Yeah.
That's a good exchange.
Shit, maybe take a couple of them Red Bulls, give you some wings. Yeah, you can't do that shit every day. I'm sure Red Bulls aren't good for you.
Nah, that's the thing. Doing it every day is not great.
But I mean, shit, Telly, I want to say probably 3/4 of the people here in this chat have some form of fucking depression. So you're not alone.
Right.
And my brother and I being fucking accompanied with that. Whether it's mild or acute, chronic, it don't matter. I don't know anybody anymore.
Periodically?
Periodically. I don't know anyone anymore who doesn't go through a little bit of fucking mental health. It's a whole lot prevalent now.
That's what's up, Eternian. You got it.
Yeah, it's vaping. It's vape oils. Goddamn vaping oils, man. Turning people's lungs into stone, petrified lungs.
Man with Beard said he's going to order some high-strength caffeine tablets. Man with Beard, have you ever heard of, I think it's grown in Argentina. If one of the moderators want to fact check this, it's a natural upper, and I think it's called yerba mate.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of this.
And the health benefits behind it are far greater than the coffee bean and caffeine. And it's way healthier. I think it derived from Argentina, and it's called yerba mate. And there's a couple of ways you can prepare it. You can prepare it hot, which it has to be at a certain degrees. It can't be too hot, or you'll release some I forgot what the term was, something carcinogenic, or you can do it cold. You can have a cold compress, but that supposedly keeps you up and going in a more natural way. And the benefits you receive from it is amazing. Yeah, caffeine is not good long term at all. Yerba mate is YERBAMATE.
Yeah, it's YERBAMATE. It's organic.
Yeah.
Yerba mate.
Can somebody find a link on yerba mate? Chrome, did you just do it? Yeah, Chrome just did it. Let me see what Chrome got. Yes. Yep, that's it.
Shit, give that a try. I'm curious to know.
A lot of people, Telly, are swearing by yerba mate right now, just in the health benefits alone. I mean, it contains some caffeine, but it's more of a natural based product. Look into it before you consume it. There's tons of information out there on it. Make sure it's right for you. Don't just take my word on it. I just look at a lot of things holistic. When I'm surfing the webs, I like to look at holistic things to see what natural plants can actually do for you. And yerba mate was high up there on the list. That and ginseng, and I think I'm coming down with allergies.
Oh, no. Yeah, damn. There's I forgot to tell you, but I put some pellets in the smoker, and Mads is out there throwing ribs on, and she got poked by a damn wasp because it's a goddamn wasp nest right under
got hit by a wasp?
Right under the smoker. It's a damn wasp nest.
Dang, I gotta go take care of that.
And then so it's about to start smoking big time. So maybe these wasps will leave because they about to get smoked out.
Probe says Argentina footballers drink yerba mate all the time. That's it right there.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So it must have some energy benefits. Yeah, I'm curious to know how that goes.
Yeah, I don't even know why Red Bull is legal right
and
now.
Monster and all that other bullshit, chemically derived. I heard I don't know if it's true. Somebody's going to have to fact check it, but if you heat up Monster energy drink to a certain Kelvin, it becomes a plastic consistency. And if that's the case, why are we putting that shit in our body? What's up with that?
Man with Beard says, the worst thing about serious depression is wasted time that you don't get back.
Oh, my good sir. Tell me all about it.
I mean, what is severe depression? What's your experience, Telly? Because I have no idea what severe depression is. Like,
how debilitating could it be?
I know it's very debilitating, disabilitating. Am I saying that right?
No, it's just debilitating.
Yeah, there you go. Overanalyzing the word. But I feel for you, and I'm glad you're here and you're willing to talk about it with us.
Yeah, it's always good to have you here.
You had us worried, sir. I'm just glad to see you here. Yeah, Probes. Are you watching it right now, Probes, or do you know about yerba mate? Because you get a special cup with a special straw, a metal or a
made of metal. Oh, so
yeah.
Yep. Beard says he didn't want to get out of bed for months. It was horrible. But was that an acute onset? Did this depression just creep up on you, or was it something you were always struggling with? Because to be honest, you hid that very well back in the day when you were through all these channels. And I'm just wondering, is that why you were up at night? Is that why you were in all the channels? Is like for a distraction? Were you like it just seemed like it got worse, and then you just kind of had that long bout of it.
I mean, imagine that. Imagine not wanting to get up out of bed. That's wild. Is that, I mean, were your thoughts doom and gloom? Like there's no digging yourself out of this hole? Whatever you perceive the hole to be? That's just wild to me.
Yeah, he said I was pretending I was in chat, but I was really struggling. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, so Chrome said there's something about Anne Hathaway. There's a movie, but and I don't want to go there with it, but my brother and I knew somebody that had severe depression, and it didn't turn out for the best for that individual.
Mm-mm.
But I always, like, people would always say, "Oh, you just depressed. Get out more and just be happy. Go do something you like, something that's fun." And I just don't think people understand it when it comes to like PTSD, when it comes to depression, to anxiety, unless you really suffer from these mental disabilities. I don't think anyone's ever going to really understand it until it hits you. Like it's definitely a pandemic that's like, it doesn't get the light that it needs. And I know a lot of people had it ever since COVID. Like, it really flared up when COVID hit.
Yeah, I definitely feel for you, Telly. And whatever we can do to help you,
Yeah, please just
say something.
say something.
Say the
We're all
word.
here.
I don't know what I could do, but if there's something I can do, I'll do it. 100%. I'll stop what the fuck I'm doing and help you out.
And here come Tyrone. Y'all better watch out. This dude is on lurk patrol. So Tyrone says, "I really enjoyed yesterday. Y'all got me through it. I lost my brother 2 years ago on that day, so thanks. It was a really good show."
Thank you for coming in and supporting this channel the way you do.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got something they're going through, man. Whether they like to hide it, like Telly just tells you, he showed you. You're not gonna hide a motherfucking thing once it's on you. You could try your best to hide it, but it will surface. And the ones that stay quiet about it and surrender and give in to it, we don't hear about it because they're no longer with us. But for people that are struggling with the mental health issue, it could be your best friend at work. It could be somebody you know at work, just don't know how to reach out.
Yeah, and I'm glad you don't feel embarrassed about talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I think
because it's going. I mean, look,
Telly knows where he's at,
right? And now you got Tyrone Sellers divulging information that he was suffering through something yesterday. I mean, I couldn't imagine losing my twin brother. Period.
Right.
And then be reminded about that every day because of what we do. And then have that annual day come around consistently. Wagyu says, just got to remember there's a light at the end of every tunnel, man with beard. We still ridiculously lucky to be experiencing anything at all. Right now, anything is better than nothing. Absolutely. And then Roy Droy Voy found some facts on yerba mate.
Ooh, we didn't even know he was a twin, Tyrone. He was just saying if he lost me as a twin. But damn, that's even more hard hitting. God bless, man.
So Roy Droy, is it safe to say yerba mate is going to be better than coffee? Yes or no? Because I don't want to steer Beard into something that's going to be worse.
Well, he's going to do his own research.
Yeah,
too,
but if we can help him do it, fuck, let's help him do it.
Yeah.
But again, thank you, Tyrone Sellers, for sharing that information. I'm sorry you went through that.
And still going through
And
it.
I'm glad this channel can be here to help you. Jack says coffee is one of the few things that is good for the liver. Yeah, but I imagine dosage is everything too.
Yeah, it has some medicinal properties to coffee though, in moderation.
Wait, Tyrone, I didn't know. Hang on.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We got to cool our camera down. It's just we got the fan on it now, so. She's overheating, giving her all she's got. Oi. Oi. This fan works pretty fast. I don't know why these cameras heat up like this. It's like this new thing. They didn't used to do this.
Yeah, it is what it is.
She ours what she ours.
Twas what's it twas. Okay, what am I missing here? Yes, better than coffee, but not long-term solution. Okay. Roy said coffee would destroy his liver because he's allergic.
Yeah, Roy's allergic. He's a dude that's allergic to a lot of stuff. What about that for life? What about being allergic to a bunch of shit?
To everything.
Jeez. Well, I'm just glad that, and I always say this, and I say it to myself more times than not. I always, in the morning, the first thing I say is I'm grateful just to be here and that this life is temporary. So no matter what we're all going through, it ain't going to be forever. I promise you that. It may seem that way, and it may seem like every day is doom and gloom, but we're not going to have it every day.
We're not going to be able to experience doom and gloom.
Whether some of us die by accident or on purpose it doesn't matter. This shit is not permanent. And we're all leaving this bad boy one way or another. I'll tell you that. And I don't know what days we have numbered, but Father Time got your goddamn number, and he's waiting to punch it when that time comes.
And it has a date, and it has a year.
We expire. So do what George G's is doing right now. Take your ass outside and cook up a steak on the motherfucking grill. Do what Marilyn is doing right now and get stung by a wasp while smoking some ribs.
I'm allergic to life in general, is what Probe said. Hell yeah.
Paulo said he had a broad that was just straight up allergic to fun. She ain't like anything fun.
But anytime you guys are dealing with something, let us know. We're here every day. And it don't matter what agenda we have laid out, what we doing or what we talking about, what we're playing. I'll stop that bitch in a minute and we can have a conversation.
We'll stop it in a cold minute. In a cold one.
Maybe some people can't afford a therapist or someone to help them think things through.
Maybe you just need somebody to talk to.
Or just an ear.
Yeah, you got a bunch of ears here on the S.O.R committee. There's a bunch of damn ears.
We're all professionals in life at this point. We're still alive and we're here. We all have something we can help teach or give some direction. You don't have to be licensed to have fucking life skills, knowledge. I think we all been through something and we can help the next man out. That's what it's all about. Because even the therapist needs a therapist that needs a therapist that needs a therapist.
Who's the therapist?
George says, don't need no license for love. Love and a conversation will heal this fucking world, George.
Georgie say, well, I'm out here cooking. Let me tell you some facts. You don't need a goddamn, accolades are not required to express love. That shit is called the school of life.
The hard knocks.
Georgie said he got his universal degree in the school of life.
I'm coming, Meryl. I'm coming to help you fight off them wasps. I'll figure out how to kill them.
We got to get some goddamn wasp spray. Got to go into town and get some wasp spray because you ain't fighting them off. You got to suffocate their ass.
Wagyu, we just going to fly you out for one day to kill these wasps and fly your ass straight back out.
That's pretty much the principle of it.
Be the best trip you ever had. Thomas said, get a tennis racket and smash it. Oh, weren't we supposed to ask Thomas a question?
Oh, Thomas, yeah. Thank God you're here, buddy. When was the first time you discovered, do you remember how long ago you discovered S.O.R? When you first found our channel? You made a comment yesterday, or was it it was popcorn night, that you said episode 224 was when you were all in when we were playing music. We went back and listened to that episode, and we've known you before that. We need some context behind that comment you made. We're curious on when you first found our channel.
Oh, Apollo, you D-Mim? Okay. Apollo, you know how to do it? I'll hit you up if you're talking about the wasp.
Wagyu said he'll uppercut the shit out of a wasp. Every last one of them. Uppercuts.
Probe says he used badminton rackets. All right, Apollo, I got you. Roy said, give him the stink eye.
Damn, Roy, I think they would. What if they poke you in your eye, my boy? Then what you doing?
We got things like stink eye, uppercut them, drop kick them in the forehead. I don't know how many there are. I mean,
it might be like 4 or 5 of them. I saw the nest is up under the grill. Look like they've been busy. They flying around with an attitude too.
Tracker Jack says coffee breath. What the hell is Tracker talking about?
I have no idea what this dude is talking about.
And why does that dude just come in with some random shit every time? Tracker Jack's beef jerky.
Oh, yeah, beard. Yes. So I spoke with Awkward Hair and Teeth, or is it Awkward Teeth and Hair Productions? Either way. And this is, I'm not going to get in trouble for it because we talked about it in the open on Kent's on the pubness. And he is struggling with things. Right now, I think number one for him, he's going through a bout of loneliness. And he's just trying to find a compatible partner, but he's self-conscious about his dental work, about his teeth. And he can't really afford to get them fixed right now, but he just feels like it's holding him back from finding someone. So I was talking to him in the open and saying you can't put yourself in such a shallow position when teeth aren't like crooked teeth aren't everything. There's someone out there for everybody that looks past that. And I asked him if he tried to get on any dating sites where he can put his profile up there and specifically state what type of person he's looking for as far as compatibility. And I think he was just putting himself in this hole because I think life stigmas say you have to look a certain way or you won't be accepted. So I think that's his challenge as of yet when I last spoke to him.
I remember that. We were in the pubness when he was saying that.
Yeah. And I was trying to tell him that, you know, a lot of these fears are in your head, but if you're just your genuine self, there's someone out there that's going to like you and love you. You just got to put yourself out there. And if your teeth are really giving you that much, you can't afford, I mean, put money aside, just whatever few bucks you can just to get some dental work done so you don't have to feel that way anymore. But people out there dealing with all kind of shit.
Tracker Tom, you reminded me of something in my childhood when you said coffee breath. Let me share this story real quick. When I was in the 7th grade, it's middle school here in the U.S., just starting middle school, I was in a remediation class for mathematics because, you know, I wasn't the brightest Negro in school. In this class, there was a teacher. Her name was Mrs. Mebane. She was a very beautiful teacher who took her time with her students to help teach them math and speed them up so they can then join a regular classroom. It was an embarrassing classroom I had to go to because that's where all the slow people went.
I had to go to the same damn classroom.
Yeah, but you weren't in mine.
No.
You were in a different remediation.
But it's the same building.
Yeah. Remediation sucks for kids who have
who's slow as fuck.
Well, no, but if you have this type of
learning disability,
celebrityship, that people know you and they see you in that class, they go, wait a minute. You in this class? God damn, what, you dumb or something?
Oh.
So we had to grow up with that. But my point being, when Tracker Jack said kill the wasp with coffee breath, this teacher, Mrs. Mebane, would always eat a block of cheese and drink coffee. And her breath would smell like pure, unadulterated Marmite.
Mm.
And it got to the point where every time she would come over my shoulder, put her finger on my paper and say, no, this one's wrong, that one's right, and this one's wrong. And what you want to do is add,
damn,
and take her time explaining shit. To the point where I got so mad one day, and this was months into working, but I got so mad one day, I was sitting in my chair and she come over my shoulder and do it again. I did this. I went, oh! She must have thought I was crazy as hell at that point, and that's the reason why I was in that class.
Breath was kicking like judo.
And she said, oh my God, what's wrong? Are you okay? I said, I can't do this no more.
I remember this shit.
She said, what, the math? I said, no. Your fucking breath stink. I didn't know how else to say it, y'all. I let it get to the point where
he exploded.
I exploded because her breath smelled like coffee and cheese, and she couldn't recognize that shit was fucked up. She was torturing every kid in that classroom. And I know I wasn't the only kid who thought that. I know I wasn't. And them kids looked at me and they was like, God damn, he's the savior of the day. Now ask me if she ever ate cheese and drank coffee again and teach a motherfucker some math. Hell yeah, she did. And then I told her, you know what? I understand this math. I don't need your help no more. I mean, I didn't say it like that, but I know I got super frustrated and I said, your breath stink. And I think the next day she laughed kind of, which is why I remember this woman. And she kind of smirked and she was like, Lamont, that's not how you tell somebody they breath stink.
Well, it is today.
I said, well, I'll let this shit go for months.
I let this torture, this abuse system go for months.
And it's nothing worse than her eating and drinking this shit and then go want to put a peppermint in her mouth. That shit didn't help neither. It's just spicing up the stank.
And you got other dumbass kids in the class going, God bless this guy over here.
Now I wish I could put her breath in an aerosol can.
Oh, no. And go over there and spray them wasp with it.
And go and tack them wasp with it. So Tracker Jack, this one's for you. I think you might be onto something.
How bad your breath got to be for a kid to say, you know what? I can't concentrate on this lesson because your shit is on hum.
And I got mad, y'all. My whole body shook.
My boy said he got frustrated.
I can't do this shit no more.
Convulsions. Your breath's so bad, it causes you induce convulsions to children. How bad it's got to be?
The Tracker said that shit might make him super aggressive, though.
Yeah, that's true. you might piss them bad boys off.
We might do something crazy.
They might be like, that's offensive. I'm already born angry, but this is just making me
belligerent. I mean, it made me angry. Shit, you might be onto something. That's another one of our childhood stories. I was a bad kid growing up, y'all. Y'all have no idea. I was a very bad kid.
We'll check up on Groove Chemist to make sure he's good, but as of yet, I think he's on demand. Pretty sure he's on demand.
Yeah, we'll check up on Groove Chemist. Keep him in your thoughts, y'all. He went through a serious medical emergency. It's not good. It's not good. Just take it from me. I can't disclose what he went through, but it's not good. Keep Groove Chemist in your minds and your heart. Today's one of those days where we just gonna talk to each other and just
make sure everybody's okay.
Make sure everybody okay. Make sure
it's a great weekend. I want to make sure everybody is okay. I know George is cooking. My boy is okay. Apollo over there flashbacking on allergic bitches that's scared of fun. I know he's okay. I know Telly is here with us today going through some challenges, and he's on medication that makes him tired, but he's okay.
But he's okay.
I know Grown is here because he putting shit in the chat asking about if everybody else is okay. I know Roy Droid is still Roy Droid. I know he knows a lot. Makes me feel like everything's going to be okay.
And that's the thing too. Like when we are all living in this moment right now, no matter how we feel or what tomorrow's going to bring for us or what we're stressing on that we have zero control over.
Zero control. Because I'm telling you right now, I stress on shit that I have zero control over.
But we're here right now and living in the moment to see everybody making a comment and watching the chat scroll. In the moment right now, we're all here, we're alive, and we're okay. And these are the moments I cherish right now, every second, every fucking minute.
Because at least right now, everybody's fucking alive and okay. That's the moral of this damn podcast today. We're all going to be okay.
I know it's short on this bitch.
And I know life can throw some fucking dumb shit, heavy shit at everybody's way sometime. But at the end of the day, If it ain't killing you, you're going to be okay. Pick yourself up off the ground, dust off your goddamn knees, get the trucking, because life ain't done yet. That bitch keep on moving. And she keep throwing shit at you too like a monkey. Life is like a fucking monkey. She just constantly throws shit at you and you gotta dodge it. And sometimes when that shit connects, you just gotta wipe it off and get ready to dodge the next one that filthy bitch is gonna throw at you.
And time never stops. It's like time never stops. Time doesn't even give a fuck about what you're going through.
Time is irrelevant to me. But yeah, time don't care.
The clocks are still turning. Bills still need to be paid.
And that bitch is still moving forward. Don't care. Oh, man down? Guess what? I'm still moving forward.
Your brother passed away? Guess what? I don't care. Time's still moving forward. Tuesday's coming and Wednesday's gonna follow. It's a crazy experiment we're living through right now. It's very crazy. It's weird. It's strange. Like all of this is strange. This whole experience, this whole ride, it's just strange.
When you're not with the one you love the one you're with. I remember this is in a song. But yes. Georgie like, hell yeah, that's some shit. Life is a motherfucker. You ever hear the expression back, and it's still relevant. The expression is, life is a motherfucker.
Chrome said, put a bipolar LFO on the arrow of time. Word. That's how strange it is, Chrome. It's just fucking weird. We're all living this life and we all know it's just fucking weird. And there's a lot wrong with it and all of the major things that are wrong with it, it affects us as human beings and it's just fucking us over.
You know what you know what the funny part is? In under 180 years time from now, for most of us here, under 50 years. For most of us here, under 50, 60 years, chances are we won't even be here. That's how closely and how rapidly our demise is coming. Put that in perspective. In a few short years, we won't even be here. So why hold on to the bullshit? For those that go in the next precious moments to next week, to next month, to next year, and the year after, this is what it's going to look like. Especially everybody here in this fucking chat. I know we are all of older age, and they say this is the year where you start losing people more. Well, guess what, goddammit? Life ain't done yet.
Man with Beer said, I wonder how many secretly depressed people there are out there. Too many to count, Beer.
Yeah, too many to count. Well over 3/4.
And the serious ones, they're embarrassed. They don't want to talk about it. There's no one out there that's going to understand them. I think it's too many people out there that have depression and they don't want to talk about it. But I know this for a fact. And if you guys are honest with yourselves, we all suffer some form of stress, depression, anxiety, worries,
fears.
And sometimes they get a little bit much where we want to stop psychoanalyzing ourselves and start seeking content to take us away from the man in the mirror. I do it more times than not. I get it. I try to lose myself in the job, in the music, into YouTube. Because sometimes you just get tired of confronting the man in the mirror. Sometimes you just get tired of combating the ego, sparring the ego 24/7, thinking about all the negative things that have happened to you and all the negative things you've done in the past and all the shit you got to deal with every day you wake up, whether it be the same fucking routine: get up, coffee, get dressed, go to work, come back, eat dinner, rinse, repeat. No end to the fucking cycle. It doesn't seem like life is fair. It doesn't seem like life is going the way you want it to. But that's our perception most times. And then there's days where you feel great. You want to just live in that fucking moment because you feel great. And those are the days we got to mimic more times than not. So we get it, Telly. We may not have it as bad, but we fucking get it.
Oh, I 100% get it. Some days I wake up and I just wish my mind would just turn off. I just wish I had the power to turn my fucking mind off with all the racing thoughts and just turn that bad boy off. But we don't get that privilege.
Yeah, Grown. Beautifully said. Said that shit very, very nice.
Let me see it. I used to think that depression meant verging on suicidal ideations. In reality, it's just the inability to move forward. And we all have those times. Motherfucking right. Because I'm living my own time right now. Personally.
And I'm happy for you, Chrome. I'm glad you don't have to live that cycle. You managed to do enough to break the cycle. And now you live in nice. And I think that's everyone's goal, or it should be everyone's goal.
Yeah, it's a motto. I mean, it's a state of belief now. It's like it's a perception.
But even if you're in that cycle, still try to find time for yourself. Still try to break the spell of rinse and repeat. I mean, but like we all have each other. If you don't have anybody, you have us here. Speak to anybody in chat. There's no one here that's going to not listen to you or have a conversation with you. Proof is in the pudding. We all know each other. And we've never met each other. So the magic is in that, period.
And here's where the fundamental part of scales come in. Back to the original topic. If you're starting out as the musician, take your time, be patient with yourself, and just allow yourself to make mistakes and learn. I've been at it for like almost 3 years. I'm patient.
As I always say to Monkey Islanders, we'll see you tomorrow. Love, bye.